Talking about humble pie, let's talk about CoolKicks. CoolKicks LA issues a statement on the LAPD raid. Bitch, you heard it. CoolKicks, very influential, very well-known reseller store that sells rare trainers and shit on clothes and whatever, was raided by the FBI for stolen goods. Now, some people are alleging it also could be due to fraudulent goods, like reps and shit. The founder has come out and said it's not true, but I have a feeling that it is including reps. It's including stolen gear, because I'm sure some of you knew. I think it was during COVID. Do you guys remember during COVID, there was that spout of robberies happening where people were going to Nike stores, running them up and jacking a bunch of stuff. There were robberies happening on trains. Remember that? In America, they got those transport trains that travel across the country. And on those trains, sometimes they stock like, you know, they'll have like Nike shoes. And those trains were being like ambushed. Like people would put shit on the rails, make the train stop. When the train stopped, kids would come out and start ransacking the fucking cargo containers and stealing a bunch of shoes. And there'd be that famous picture of this train on the tracks and all these orange boxes and shit all splaying on the floor. People like pulling shoes out of boxes and shit. So the LAPDs are suggesting or alleging that CoolKicks were knowingly sold or knowingly bought stolen shoes and were trying to sell them in their store. Because a lot of these stores, like you see a lot with these reseller sites, they'll have like these pictures they take on Instagram where they'll be like the founder or the owner of the store will be sitting there with like a whole size run of shoes. And if you know anything about sneaker stores, you know that backdooring does happen, right? Backdooring basically means where a store will sell a pair of limited edition shoes out of the back door to somebody in full. So if you're a reseller, you're a collector, if you know somebody, if you pay enough money, essentially, you can basically get a whole size run of like Tom Sachs Mars yards because you might pay like $1,000 each on top of them. And the person that owns the shop, be like, it doesn't matter to him because he's still going to put that money in the till, and whatever profit he gets, he puts it in his pocket, and no one's none the wiser. It's a stuff that's been going on in secrecy for a while. It's absolutely killed limited edition shoes. It prevents people like you and I getting a pair of shoes. I've seen it happen myself in front of my eyes. When I used to work at 1948, people were backdooring shoes all the time. There'll be fucking scumbags coming and buying the shit. And you know what really broke my heart and really made me angry? I was working in 1948. I went to the store in 1948 in Shoreditch, right? This really like cool limited edition shoe shop. That was where I was able to get the Yeezys there. I was able to get the first pair of fucking off-white Jordans from there too back in the day. But I didn't get them because I worked there. I got them because I wasn't working there and they sold them there. But anyway, long story short, I remember working there and and the manager of that store was backdooring the shoes to a few of his friends. And you know, it was really fucking hard pill to swallow and really got me pissed off. When we were coming up in a scene, we'd be queuing out outside of Busy Workshops, right? Which is the Bape store in London. We'd be queuing outside of Hideout, which is next door to Busy Workshop. We'd be queuing outside of Slam City Skates, Nike Town, Foot Patrol, Slamming Kicks sometimes to buy limited edition shoes. And we'd never get them because there'd be an older generation of people who probably are in their 50s now, right? 50s, 60s and shit. There'll be these older generation of people, these guys, who would always get there who'd always get there after us, but they'd always get to the front and just buy the pair because they knew the manager. And we'd always be standing there in the queue pissed. We'd be doing that 24-hour shift, 48-hour shift, standing in there in the rain, in our tents, waiting to buy shoes. We could never buy them because these older people knew the people, or they were backdooring, putting money in you guys' pocket. Years later, when I work in this shoe store, the very same people who were backdooring us when we were younger were the same people now getting in front of us in the queue and now backdooring shoes. The cycle was continuing. And it was funny as well, seeing these guys in that scenario, in that environment. Because I was so used to seeing these guys come up to the store acting like their dogs. Imagine back in the day, like, honestly, some of these guys are bozos. If you're listening to this now and you remember who I was back then, like, fuck you. You're a fucking loser. Most of those guys were fucking losers because they were flexing on us. We were like 19, 18. And these guys were like 40. They had like full-time jobs. And they were like, they had families and shit, like fucking, you know what I mean, pensions coming up. And they were out here flexing on us, kids at that time, kids. Oh, we got in the queue in front of you. Like, you shouldn't even be worried about trainers. You should look after your kids, brother. Right? And those same people, years later when I'm working in the sneaker store, they're coming backdooring shoes to get them. And the cycle just continues. And it's really annoying because Nike don't stop it. They don't give a fuck. The stores don't stop it because they make some money. And the people that suffer the most are the customers. Because then when the shoes become available to buy, there's less of them now. Whatever quantity stores get, they always backdoor shoes. Because first you have to imagine when the limited edition shoes land in the store, the staff get first dibs, right? Usually if you've got a good manager, they'll tell you one pair only if you limited edition shoes. But if you work there, you can probably finagle another pair. You can get another pair for your sister, for your brother, for your friend, right? So already by that time, most sneaker stores, you'd say off rip, off top, 20 pairs gone. Maybe minimum 20 pairs gone. Not including the backdooring with some fucking rich Chinese kid that comes through, with some rich Arab kid that comes through, with some rich wherever kid that comes through and just buys 7 pairs and gives the manager, you know, fucking $1,000 on top. Then a reseller comes through, gives the manager $5,000 on top each pair, you know? So then by the time the shoes become available to buy on the day, there's like 10 pairs available, 10, 20 or something. Fair enough, they don't make the numbers known to the public, but if you know the right people, they'll tell you. The quantities are super low, bro. So it's a scumbag's game. That's why I'm all for reps. That's why I'm always going to advocate for reps. I'm always going to advocate for reps. Like, try and buy your shoes legit. Try and buy your shoes legit. Enter the raffles. Retweet. Do all that shit that they wanted you to do. Jump over the hoops. If you can't buy your shoe legit, buy the rep. Buy it instantly. Fuck these companies. Fuck these brands. Because niggas are out here stealing shoes, selling them to stores. They're buying these stolen shoes, willingly, you know, marking them up to sell them to you. Or they're going to buy reps from China and then try to sell them as the authentic thing for the resale price. Scumbags across the board. Nike are scumbags. They don't make enough shoes to supply demand. There's no reason why there shouldn't be enough shoes to supply demand. Sneaker business is $1 billion industry now. Everybody knows what a limited edition sneaker is. Your mum, your dad knows what a fucking Yeezy is. There's no more secrets. There's no more this. It's stupid. This fucking manufacturer scarcity is dumb. Just make enough shoes for everyone to buy. In my personal opinion, I think the scarcity thing is stupid. From time, they don't even put numbers. Nowadays, if there's like a limited edition shoe, they'll have like this is 5,000 pairs, but they won't tell you what number your pair is. The Awake Jordan 5s. The Awake Jordan 5s have a quantity number. There's a label on the inside of the tongue. But they all say 1. Every pair says 1. They don't tell you what pair you got. Why? Because they don't want you to know how many pairs were actually made. Because if they have to number them, they're gonna have to tell you that in reality, it was much more than they said there was, not enough to supply demand. But if they let you know what numbers, then it kind of eradicates the rep sort of industry and what they're doing, because there can't be like 1744s out there. Do you know what I mean? There has to be there can be loads of infinite number of ones. So the whole game is fucking rigged. If you can get reps, get them. If you can't buy if you could try to buy the authentic thing first. If you can't buy it, buy the reps, because you're going to be sold stolen shit for resale. Because one thing buying stolen shit for half price. If some crackhead comes to your barbershop, if some crackhead comes to your hair salon, if some crackhead pops into you or bumps into you at the Sainsbury's and tries to sell you an authentic pair of Air Force Ones for £50, buy them, of course. But no one should be trying to sell you Air Force Ones for £200 that are stolen. Like, what? Are you giving stolen property for more money? Stolen property should be less. You get me? So fuck these stores. It says CoolKicks in LA raided by the LAPD. Courtesy of Complex. What began as another online auction stream ended on Whatnot yesterday for CoolKicks when the LA got turned upside down when a shop owner, Adele Shams, by the way, Shams, right? Shambolic scammer, get that, was arrested by the LAPD on live stream. And there's actually a video of it. There's actually a video of him getting raided as he's streaming on his website, which I only found out about recently. There's a website called there's an app called Whatnot. It's like a selling website sort of thing. It's all like a tele-sales QVC type of thing where you can sell stuff on there. And he was, you know, you can do promos and whatnot. I guess stores use it to kind of, you know, gain some traction for their store. So there's kids on this app called Whatnot, you know, doing his thing, selling the boo-boos, whatever he's fucking doing. And then in the background, you can hear he's getting raided. And he's like in shock at first. So he doesn't actually believe what's going on. At first, he thought he got swatted. What happens a lot when you live stream, people call, if they find your address, they'll say this, they'll call a SWAT, they'll say it'll be a prank, right? They'll call a SWAT team in and you get pranked on air, but it wasn't. It was actually getting raided by the feds.
Chat? What the fuck was that?
Oh, wait. Germ said don't do that.
What is that? Here? Chat? I don't know. What the fuck just happened? Did somebody swat us? I'll be back, chat.
Chat.
Was it really? Is it prank?
No.
Those are all the boxes outside the store that got possessed by the cops and shit, right? Absolutely fucking crazy. There's actually more pictures as well. You see another picture too of more boxes there. Actually, there's actually another one too that I want to show you, where it shows you all of the guys outside in the parking lot as they're getting arrested by the cops and shit with their handcuffs on. It's fucking crazy. But there's a bunch of people. Where is it? Where is it? There you go. Yeah, you see it right there. There it is, right there. There's all the people in the store, as you see there, all of them outside. There, and then you've got some other pictures too of all the other stuff getting stolen, and that's the founder there. You can see him with the same shirt on getting arrested by the people as well. So crazy situation all around. It says, while there's no official statement provided by the department relating to the rest of the time of writing, it's currently being alleged that Adele's arrest was linked to the possibility of the store selling counterfeit products. Images also began circulating online of law enforcement impounding dozens of the Nike sneakers. The first CoolKicks store opened in 2014 in Virginia before Adele opened his now popular location in Melrose in LA in 2016. The store has amassed a huge following on social media where they frequently post videos of celebrities making huge purchases at the store. According to the booking record, a deal was released on midnight earlier today. A court date has been set for October 23rd. Update: CoolKicks has shared an official statement regarding the raid on the LAPD. CoolKicks statement: yesterday, the LAPD impounded a small allotment of Nike sneakers that CoolKicks purchased and received within the last 48 hours. Bro, you don't get raided by the feds for something you bought in 48 hours, man. That's a lie. Alleging that the merchandise was stolen. The news came as a complete shock to our entire team. Neither CoolKicks leadership nor our staff had any knowledge or reason to believe that these products were stolen. We entered into the purchase in good faith, as we've always have, and committed to running an honest business. It is important to clarify, there's been no allegation whatsoever from law enforcement that any of our products were counterfeit. You're not saying there aren't, though. CoolKicks takes pride in serving a loyal community of authentic, high-quality products and services. It is at the heart of our culture. We want to reassure our community that the integrity of our products remains the highest priority. We are confident the truth will come out and trust will have been worked so hard to earn will remain strong. We deeply regret the concern and inconvenience the situation has caused. CoolKicks has stood on for honest business, and that commitment will never change. The CoolKicks team. Bunch of bullshit. A bunch of bullshit. If you're somebody that's new in the industry, new in the scene, I will tell you flat out, don't buy shoes. If you miss out on shoes, either buy reps or buy something else. Unless you can buy the shoes directly from somebody that queued up in the store and they have a receipt for the shoes they bought, don't buy them anywhere. No, I wouldn't even trust StockX at this point. I wouldn't even trust StockX. I'm not trusting any app, Go, StockX, nothing. If you can't buy your shoes on a raffle day, if you don't get successful with the raffle, if you don't buy them with somebody that actually bought them from the raffle and they have an invoice and a receipt to show you, just buy something else or buy a rep. But don't try and buy them from the resale store, because 9 times out of 10, in my personal opinion, I think most are reps. Reps now are so good in terms of quality, in terms of standard. Unless you're a proper sneakerhead who's been in the game for a long time, you won't be able to spot them. Most people won't be able to spot what reps look like with a naked eye. Reps now, most reps don't have that funky smell. Most reps now, some reps are actually higher quality than the fucking retail pairs. Like all the dead giveaways happened back in the day aren't there anymore. The boxes are the same. They use the same paper, the same tissue, the same replacement additional laces. The sizing is brilliant. The shape is great. So it's really hard to discern what is real and what isn't. And if you care about that sort of shit, I really highly recommend that if you don't get successful, if you are unsuccessful, in purchasing limited edition shoes via the raffle, buy something else or buy the rep. Don't waste your money on fucking resale market. It's full of fakes. It's full of people selling fake shoes, trying to sell it for you in authentic prices or resale prices, which I think is a scammy game. I heard it happen a lot during COVID. Heard a bunch of people made big money during COVID. They were buying reps and then selling them as a legit thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think that's a scammy game. If you're going to sell reps, sell them as reps. Don't sell reps as authentic things, because that's not fair. But there's a bunch of these stores out there who, because they're a store and you have to bring the shoe in and people have to check it over. People normally think because it's a store selling resale shoes that they're more trustworthy because there's way more authentication steps done on there. You'd think so. And they usually employ a lot of sneakerheads, so whatever. But it's a bullshit. Most people couldn't tell the difference between a fake Air Force One and a real Air Force One. I think that's the easiest one. I think being able to tell between a legit Air Force One and a fake one is really easy. But most people can't even tell that. So if I was you, I would just avoid all of it across the board. Avoid all of it across the board. Avoid all of it across the board. That would be my suggestion.